Welcome to this video on business rules in Cello SaaS framework. One of the most complex customization is the one that requires change to the core business logic. Let's take a HR system that has business logic for calculating number of available leaves. This logic is purely dependent on the HR policy of an organization, which means it can completely vary from one organization to another. You can try to modularize the code to arrive at a generic logic, but many times this may not be possible as the logic not only differs but also can contradict between organizations. Therefore, the solution either ends up in having a complex multiple if checks, which could increase the cyclomatic complexity of your solution, or ends up in maintaining as multiple codes. In either case, the maintainability of the solution is going to become expensive and after a point in time impossible. The complexity of this problem is directly proportional to the amount of variations between the organizations, departments, and users of the system. Business rules is a module from Cello SaaS framework that allows the user to tackle the above problem with ease. This module contains two parts: business rules editor, a user-friendly interface which can be used to define various types of rules; business rules engine, which can be used to process the various business rules at runtime by invoking it from any part of the application. Rule types. Business rules editor allows the user to define various types of business rules ranging from a simple if checks to complex decision tables. All the rules that are defined are tenant specific. For example, the number of leave available rule can be defined for each tenant or organization or even at department level. Externalizing this varying business logic from the core code makes the life of developers simple and highly productive. Moreover, the editor is highly user-friendly and intuitive, allowing the non-technical persons to modify and manage it effectively. What this means is when there is a change in the leave policy, the HR manager themselves can get into this editor and make the necessary modifications, thereby making it a self-servicing administrative console, which in turn will significantly cut down the time spent by support teams. Copy from parent. In a tenant hierarchy scenario, it's very likely that the rules set at the parent tenant level will be used by the child tenants, however with some minor modifications. Cello SaaS provides a feature that will allow the user to copy the rules from the parent tenant to the child tenant instead of keying them individually for each child tenant. Business rule invocation. Cello SaaS allows a business rule to be invoked from any part of the application. Developers can use the business rule services to invoke the rules and consume the output. However, Cello SaaS provides built-in support of business rules in the following areas: entity validation rule and preprocessor rules. These rules will be automatically triggered by Cello SaaS framework when the corresponding entity is modified. As the name implies, preprocessor rule gets triggered while the entity is loaded for view, whereas validation rule is triggered when the entity is saved. Workflow. Rules can be defined as part of the workflow. The workflow engine of Cello SaaS will take care of triggering the rules. The outcome of these rules are further used to determining the next course of steps in the workflow.